Hello, and welcome to the Lost and Found Tarot channel. Today we're starting a new series on how to use the Celtic Cross Spread. I use this when I want as specific an answer as possible. For this question, I'm going to pull a question from my homemade practice deck. I write out questions I've received on little pieces of cardstock, and then when I want to practice, I pull out a question at random and read on that. The Celtic Cross is a classic spread for a reason. It's old, it's powerful, and it's moldable. With the correctly phrased question and the right card position modifiers, this is honestly one of the only spreads you ever need for pretty much any situation. If you don't use the Celtic Cross because it seems too restrictive, I'm going to show you how to make small changes to the card positions to help you get a really clear answer. We can't make too many changes to the card positions because then it wouldn't be the Celtic Cross, but we do have some flexibility. The Celtic Cross is a 10-card spread with a distinct arrangement. Some readers use significator cards as the anchor for card position 1, but I don't. If you do, that's cool, but for the purpose of this video and future ones, I won't be using it. We start with 2 cards in the center, add 4 cards around those 2 center cards, and then build an arm over on the right side. The order I lay my cards may not be the order you do it. That's totally fine, and both of us are right as long as we do it consistently. Before I do a spread, I write out all of my questions, write it out so that I have every position mapped. This is just what works best for me. I start by taking my blank Celtic Cross template and writing out the question that I'm looking to have answered. If it involves specific people, I'll add their names as well. Then I assign the card positions. Card position 1 will be the present situation, and the second card will be the crossing element. These 2 cards have to be read as a team. Card 3 comes from the bottom of the deck and represents what is unknown to the querent or client, or what is being withheld for whatever reason. Card position 4 represents the recent past, and I specify 2 months. Card position 5 should describe the querent's expectation of the situation. This is a great spot for modification because its role is to verify the situation. When you talk to your client about what happens in cards 1, 2, 4, and 5, those should mean something to them, because those cards should be telling us what happened and what the querent has thought about it. If none of those cards make sense, pick up the spread and redo it, or just try another time. Sometimes tarot doesn't want to answer the question at hand, so when a spread goes totally off the rails, that might be part of the reason why the cards cast are gibberish. Card position 6 is the near future. Again, I work with a 2-month time frame. The more specific we can make our questions, the better an answer we can give our clients. It can't be said enough times that the job of the reader is to request information through tarot and then interpret the message received. We don't pass judgment, nor do we give advice from ourselves. We pass information, good, bad, or neutral. The better we can be at delivering challenging messages is what makes us great readers. No client should ever leave your call or your table feeling lost or hopeless. I know that sounds like a bit of a tangent and off topic, but it's a hill I'm willing to die on when it comes to my job as a reader. That concludes the cross itself. Let's go over to the arm of the spread. I don't have enough table space here, so my arm overlaps, goes a little bit of a zigzag, but the essence is the same. Card position 7 generally represents the current attitude of the protagonist. Notice how this differs from card position 5. Since this reading is about someone else, we have a querent, the person who is asking you to read, and then we have the protagonist, and they are the subject of the spread. Card position 8 will describe external influences. In a lot of books, it's referenced as the environment, which is not wrong, but I think the card position description there, it's too vague. The insights that come in are too unclear, and that can be very frustrating to read. So I make mine, again, as specific as possible without being too tight. Card position 9 for the spread will be the innermost emotions of the protagonist. So if this person who our client is asking about has hopes, fears, or any feelings relevant to the situation, they should come out here. Finally, card position 10 is our outcome card, and I generally put a time on this of 6 months. So for this situation and the crossing card, we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Seven of Swords reversed. The reversed Queen is showing us someone who's very insecure, and that's confirmation that the right cards came out, because the secure people don't request readings on this topic. Either they've already asked their partner what the deal is and they don't believe them, or they may not have had that honest discussion at all. But as they've come to us for advice, we'll suspend our personal bias and judgment and read the cards as they're laid. When the Queen of Pentacles comes out in her reversal, the client or querent is very concerned about what it is that they're asking for help with. This is a client you should be as gentle with as possible, because they are likely carrying some massive burdens that actually belong to others. The thing with some people is that they take too much onto themselves and they don't realize it's crushing them until they get to a point where they feel it's too late to fix it. They feel like they need to be heard, but they don't know how. The crossing card, being the Seven of Swords reversed, means there might have been a change of plans or an event that was beyond the querent's control. It can sometimes show us information of significance has been discovered. Of course, since this is a fictional reading, we won't be able to confirm any of the facts of the situation with this client. This is what these cards are generally for. They are the control cards. If they're on point, proceed with the reading because your spread should be good. If they don't make any sense at all to the client, and none of the following cards in positions 4 and 5 make sense, try picking it up and starting over. Card position 3 here at the bottom, and in my modification of the spread, it's supposed to show us any missing information. It's a what I don't know card. I take this card from the bottom of the deck, but you can pull it from wherever you want as long as you do it the same every time. What the querent doesn't know or has not said is represented by the Seven of Pentacles. It is possible the protagonist is in a more patient phase of the relationship and believes that taking it slow might be the wisest course. In our recent past, for card position 4, we see some material struggle with the Five of Pentacles. There may have been an illness or injury, a loss that caused some suffering. Alternatively, this could mean the querent or protagonist was in a weakened state or shut out of something. Up in card position 5, we have the Knight of Wands, and he may be showing us what the querent was hoping for, which was to be swept off their feet romantically with a partner who is very attentive and responsive. So we can already tell there is a clear disconnection happening, but it's not necessarily as bad as the querent feels it is. The Hierophant in card position 6 could be showing us an official union. Not necessarily marriage, but hey, it wouldn't be the first time folks get married in a short window. Since we don't know how long they were dating, because this is all made up, maybe this was a long-term relationship where one partner had to go off for a while to work on or handle a separate issue, and the partner left behind is finding it difficult to manage that emptiness. If this were a real client, we would want to get some of that information before we say, hey, it looks like you might get married soon. Speaking unfounded predictions or guesses into someone else's life is super unethical, and just because you think it's what they want to hear doesn't mean that's what you say. You could say it looks like there could be some exclusivity in the future if they were not already in a committed relationship. Like if they were dating, this could indicate that they would become a couple in some more public way. So going over to the arm of the spread, the present attitude of the protagonist is the Wheel of Fortune. We blend this card with card position 3 as well as card position 9 to get a more full sense of what the person's thinking. Wheel of Fortune upright is showing us some luck, opportunity, some event or happening that has a timed element. Going over to the Seven of Pentacles, 7 being a Sephira that includes the concept of victory, then adding in the desire for complete harmony that comes from the Ten of Cups, I'm going to say the protagonist is currently handling something of great importance to them that requires their full attention. The Sun reversed in card position 8 might tell us more about what's happening around the protagonist that could be affecting the situation. It is possible there is an ex-partner in the picture somehow, or even children that are not necessarily in the way, but are present and keeping the attentions of the protagonist in some way. How the reading would proceed in real life depends a lot on what the facts are. If the protagonist has children, well, those children are taking priority, as well as time, as children do, and the protagonist has to tend to them before they can tend to the querent. If the case was actually that the protagonist was somehow still bound to a previous partner, maybe they had property together or they're even still legally married, then that's something that could be complicating things a bit. If we dig into the innermost emotion of the protagonist, we see that all they want is that happily ever after. They might have had difficulty and pain from previous relationships. Maybe they're working slowly and carefully toward a relationship that will result in the fullness that comes from being inside the Ten of Cups. This card blends with card position 5, which ties to the querent. The querent wants this Ten of Cups life too, just faster than the protagonist is going to move. In the outcome card, we see the Ten of Swords reversed. So the situation may work out, but not in the exact way the querent hopes. There will be acceptance of and coping with the situation. It may signify a compromise in some way. To proceed long term, there will be some life gives you lemons, make lemonade kind of thing happening. This card can sometimes show us how a person reaches full emotional maturity, and sometimes that takes a little bit of self-reflection. Overall, the message here seems to be not so much that the protagonist doesn't want to respond, it's just there's a lot going on for them that demands their attention. They're working towards a reality where a healthy relationship can flourish, and the querent might be able to help that by giving just a bit of space and grace to the protagonist. Again, we don't know the facts. This is all made up, so I'm just going to go with that general feeling the spread's giving me. Well, thanks so much for watching. Maybe consider subscribing, and then you'll get a notification when the next Celtic Cross analysis spread comes out. Thanks so much. Take care.